Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm. And today, to celebrate 1 year of the website, I decided to rebuild one of the courses we had, which is the Modular Car. And this time we're going to take a more professional approach to it. You still can watch the original one. And on this tutorial, the goal is to create a full Minecraft car kind of style within Unreal Engine. So you're going to be able to place every single block, the wheel, the steering wheel, the seat, everything, so you can create your own car and then play it. All right, so it's going to be approached like similar games like Robocraft and things like this. And for this, you're going to need the Unreal Engine third person. I'm going to use Blueprint. Make sure the variant is set to none because we don't want to use any of the examples. We're going to create here the location, and the name is going to be Modular Car 2. All right, I'm going to hit create, and make sure you go on the website and you download this folder called car, because you're going to need all the exports since this is going to be each single part. I spent some time designing each single part, and we're not going to be using necessarily all of this, but we're going to be using some of this to create a functional car inside Engine. All right, I see you in the tutorial. All right, so you are up and running. Now if you press play, we have just a blank character, which is what we want. And let's imagine that he's the mechanic. All right, so I'm just gonna change this option to play from a new editor, which is something I like a little bit more. And let's start it with this building project, which is gonna be basically our main feature here, right? So the first thing we want to do is that instead of figuring out in each part what part's going to do, is that we need to figure out how we're going to place this into the world, right? So we need to create the whole building system. So I'm just going to right click. I'm going to create a new folder called modules, which is something that I'm doing lately. And I'm going to create a building, right? Now we're going to create using a component. So you're going to be able to extract this and place any character you want. So we're going to create here a folder called blueprints, right? And we're going to create a new actor called BPC and building car mode. Right, perfect. Now what you're going to do is that you're going to open up here our pawn, which is going to be usually on the third person, blueprints. Open up your pawn. And you're going to go back to add, and you're going to add this component right here. Okay, nice. So then the next thing I want to do here is that I want to go to my character controller here, and I need to add a couple of things. But before we worry about the controller, let's just handle everything inside the component itself, because it will be easy for us to manage in one place. Now I'm going to delete all these things. I'm going to create here a button, and this button is going to be the one that's going to spawn the part. All right, so what we need to do here is that on key press or key, and we're going to do, let's say, number 1. We're just going to do a print, and on key, let's say number 2, we also going to do a print just to test if this works or not. Should work just as fine. 1, 2, perfect. That's all we're looking for. Now the next thing we need to do is that we need to find a part that we're going to be placing, right? So I'm just going to go back to this component, go back to blueprints. I'm going to create here a new base actor called BP base building art. And if you're doing a building system, it's very similar from what we're actually achieving here. All right. So here we're going to add a cube. And to be honest, that's all we need to do. One thing very important is that go to the collision settings. We're going to make sure that is custom. Let's make sure the visibility, that and the pawn are not colliding, because I don't want this to interact with my player. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is that we copy this stuff, go back here, and all we're going to do is that we need to spawn the cube in front of the player, and for that we need to use the player camera. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to go ahead on our player, and we are going to use let's say our camera to do this. So we kind of need to have the reference of the camera to do this kind of stuff. So we're going to go back here. We're going to create a new variable called camera. And this is going to be our camera component. All right. Make sure it's an object. Make sure you expose on spawn because we do need to expose this. Now, all we have to do, we just need to find the begin play, right? Or event begin play, right? We're going to get our building mode. And we're going to set camera. And we're just going to pass the camera as a reference because we need the camera to be able to determine where we're going to actually hit this, right? Now, from here, all we're going to do is that we're going to get the camera. So actually, I'm going to go back to class settings, class defaults. I'm going to disable the tick event. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to create here an event tick. And when I enable the building, I'm going to set event tick or event tick set event or set tick event. I always get confused. Set tick interval. Yeah, that's the one. Sorry. We're going to enable. And on number 2, we're going to disable this, right? Now, the next thing we want to do is that once this is enabled, right, we're going to make sure that we're going to get this. And we're going to do is valid, okay? And if it's valid, we can actually try to calculate a distance. So for this one, we're going to do a line trace by channel, okay? And we're going to get, for example, where it's going to start to where it's going to end. And we need to do the logic for this. So I just want you to get to this point here. And then in the next video, we carry on with the implementation.